This is the book of Philippians, chapter 2 and verse 9, and it reads, "Wherefore Yahweh also had highly exalted him and given him a name which is above every name." Verse 10, that at the name of Yahushai every knee shall bow, of things in heaven and things in earth and things under the earth. Verse 11, and that every tongue should confess that Yahushai Mashiach is Lord, to the glory of Yahweh the Father. Verse 12, wherefore, my beloved, as ye have always obeyed, not as in my presence only, but now much more in my absence, work out your own salvation with fear and trembling. Shalom, shalom. First and foremost, all praises, honor, and the glory shall go to Yahweh Ba'asham, Yahushai Ba'asham, Makar Kodash Barakatham. Double honors shall go to apostles, elders, and bishops of Great Millstone who continue to teach and to rule well. Shalom to the Akims of Great Millstone and like-minded camps and individuals who continue to teach as one body, who continue to be out on the highways and byways risking their lives for the greater good. And also shalom to the sincere Aquads who are continuously learning in silence as the Holy Scriptures have commanded for you to do so. This is Azariah Gabar, representing the King is Coming channel, back at it with another lesson for edification purposes. All right. So today's invaluable lesson is going to be entitled, Work It Out. Because Philippians 2 and 12 says it best, work out your own salvation with fear and trembling. All right, so your pastor can't do it. Your mama, your papa, your wife, all right, not even your own husbands. You have to work it out on your own. Work it out. Because we in these times of tribulation, Jacob's trouble, and the upcoming hour of temptation. So, how do you work out your salvation in fear? Well, with fear and trembling? Well, there's some scriptures. So we go to the book of John 4 and 20, and it reads, our fathers worshipped in this mountain, or in this government, and ye say that in Jerusalem is a place where men ought to worship. Verse 21, Yahushai said unto her, woman, believe me, the hour cometh when ye shall neither in this mountain nor yet at Jerusalem worship the Father. In verse 22, it reads, ye worship, ye know not what. We know what we worship, for salvation is for the Jews. All right, so this Yahushai, I brought this scripture out in yesterday's lesson. All right, so I'm just continuing with this scripture in the book of John and 4, when Yahushai ran up on the woman, remember, and she claimed that she only had one husband, but he told her, no, you have 5. Okay, so this is a continuation of this. So one of the ways is to work out your salvation, your own salvation, is to acknowledge that the salvation is for the Jews, aka the Israelites. That's first and foremost. The salvation is only for us, not for everyone else. So as we continue, we go to the book of 2nd Ezra 15 and 1, and it reads, behold, speak thou in the ears of my people the words of prophecy which I will put in thy mouth, saith the Lord. Verse 2, and cause them to be written in paper, for they are faithful and true. Verse 3, fear not the imaginations against thee, let not the incredulity of them trouble thee that speak against thee. And verse 4, for all the unfaithful shall die in their unfaithfulness. Woo, heavy. And verse 5, behold, saith the Lord, I will bring plagues upon the world, the sword, famine, death, and destruction. Wow. All right. So another way to work out your own salvation in fear and trembling is to be faithful. Okay? You must exhibit true faith in this doctrine. All right? And not to let the incredulity of the mockers and the scoffers to affect your let's say your travels, all right, and your journey in this truth. Don't let anyone or anything sway you or take you off course. All right? And if someone is an unbeliever or unfaithful, so be it. Let them die in their unbelief or in their unfaithfulness. You don't follow them. All right? So that's another way to work out your own salvation. When we go to the book of Ephesians 2 and 5, and it reads, even when we were dead in sins, had quickened us together with Mashiach. By grace ye are saved. Verse 6, and had raised us up together and made us sit together in heavenly places in Yahushai Mashiach, or Mashiach Yahushai. Verse 7, that in the ages to come he might show the exceeding riches of his grace and his kindness toward us through Mashiach Yahushai. And verse 8, for by grace are ye saved through faith. I just mentioned about faith, okay? And that not of yourselves, it is the gift of Yahweh. All right? So, yet another way to work out your own salvation in fear and trembling. All right? To know that even though we're under grace, which is a time period which is about to expire very soon, that we are saved through faith, because that's what's going to get us into the kingdom. It's not going to be by the laws, even though the laws still exists. And I mentioned this in the previous lesson. And we are to rehearse the righteous acts according to the book of Judges 5 and 11. Grace is going to get us into the kingdom and faith. All right. So we're going to move on to the book of Acts 4 and 10, and it reads, be it known unto you all and to all the people of Yasharallah that by the name of Yahushua Mashiach of Nazareth, whom ye crucified, whom Yahweh raised from the dead, even by him doth this man stand here before you whole. Verse 11. This is a stone which was set at naught of you builders, which is become the head of the cornerstone. So that's Yahushua Mashiach. He is the head of the cornerstone. All right. Verse 12. Neither is there salvation in any other, for there is none other name under heaven given unto men, whereby we must be saved. All right. And there's another way to work out your salvation, by calling the true name of the Father and the Son, which is Yahushai Well, Yahweh and Yahweh Shai, okay? These are the only true names, not Jesus Christ. That's how we're going to be saved. Through salvation. All right? And then we're going to go to the book of Proverbs 18:10, and it reads, the name of the Lord is a strong tower. I just mentioned that. The righteous run into it and is safe. The strong tower is protection, by the way. So, what will a strong tower do? Well, we go to the book of Proverbs 18:11, and it reads, the rich man's wealth is his strong city, which will be Esau, Edom mainly, and the Amaleks, and as an high wall in his own conceit. Here's a point. Verse 12. Before destruction, the heart of man is haughty, and before honor is humility. Woo! Okay? So, we're not supposed to be haughty in this walk of life, because it's going to lead to humility before honor. All right? And here's one of my favorites, Proverbs 16:18. Pride goeth before destruction, and an haughty spirit before a fall. Verse 19. Better it is to be of an humble spirit with the lowly, which will be Yasharallah, than to divide the spoil with the proud. And that's Esau, Edom. All right? So, that's another way to work out your salvation with fear and trembling, is to decipher who are the humbled ones and who are the proud ones. That's very important. Why is it important? Because of this upcoming scripture in Hebrews 10:31, and it reads, it is a fearful thing to fall into the hands of the living Yahweh, or the living power. All right? It's a fearful thing. So that's a way to be fearful when you're working out your salvation. All right? And then we go to books of the book of Proverbs 9:10, and it reads, the fear of the Lord is the beginning of wisdom, and the knowledge of the holy, or the separate, is understanding. All right? So another example of fearing the Lord, because when you fear the Lord, it's the beginning of wisdom. All right? And then we go to the book of Isaiah 14:13. It reads, for thou hast said in thy heart, I will ascend into heaven. I will exalt my throne above the stars of Yahweh. I will sit also upon the mount of the congregation in the sides of the north. This is Esau, Edom. Okay? Verse 15. Yet thou shalt be brought down to hell, to the sides of the pit. And verse 16. Here's a point. They that see thee shall narrowly look upon thee, and consider thee, saying, is this a man that made the earth to tremble, that did shake kingdoms? Woo! All right? So this is Esau, Edom. This is talking about. All right? As far as, the Lord sending this man to earth to tremble. All right? So keep this in mind when you're trying to seek salvation. You heard? So that's going to be this lesson for today. All praises, honor, and glory shall go to Yahweh, Ba'asham, Yahushai, Ba'asham, Rakah, Kodash, Brakathum. All right? So, Kwam Yasharallah. And as always, on to the next video. Shalom.